Hey! What's good? So today's storytime video is about getting scammed by a pig dealer. So my aunt, she's been looking into micro and like smaller pigs because she's been wanting one as a pet, and she thought it'd be cool. So this past weekend I spent the night at their house and we went and got ice cream, and when we were there she was emailing this woman she found on Craigslist, and apparently she sold pigs. She lived like an hour away from where we were at, but from where they live it's like 3 hours from there, so we're like, well, maybe if we just go up and see the pigs, but we might not get one, so we don't know. In the car it was my uncle, my aunt, my two cousins, and me. And my uncle, they're like, well, should we go up? I'm like, you know, YOLO. So let's go get ourselves a pig. Yeah. So we drove up there and it started to get really sketchy because like she wasn't emailing us back after that. And we told her like, well, can we go see them? Like, because apparently she had like a bunch. We drove up there, and when we were waiting we found this mall and it had like a aquarium, so we went around in there for like a couple hours and then we went to eat. After that she wanted to meet in like a Target parking lot in like a shopping center or something, so we went there, waited for her for like 2 hours, and by then it was like 9 o'clock. So we're like, well, we kind of have to leave because it's like a 3-hour drive back. She came. Before that, we were getting like all weirded out. We're like, oh, what if it's like fake? What if we're being set up? You know, doubts. She got there and we had some money, and my uncle, he was ready for it. He had his Glock in his pocket. Shots about to be fired. She showed up, and this woman, she got out of her car. She looked like a crackhead that did all the drugs. She was like skin and bones, like all pale, and she like pulled out this like pet carrier and it had like a little tiny pig in it. She pulled out this other carrier and it had like a little bit bigger pig in it, and then she pulled out this like giant carrier and like 2 pigs that big. It stank so bad, and she was telling us like these pigs are indoor pigs, and no, honey, they weren't, unless her house smells like that too. And she pulled out like all this stuff and like this little playpen thing for them, and like put all these cushions down in a Target parking lot, and it was like 9 o'clock at night. We talked to her there for like an hour. We were gonna get like the smallest pig. We were asking her all these questions about it. She seemed to know everything. And she had like all this equipment. It was like a litter box, food bowls. She was like offering them for like $500. And usually they're like on the legit website, they're like $3,500, so we were kind of freaked out. They didn't want this giant hog, like boar thing, and they just wanted like a small little house pet pig. He offered her like $460, I think, when she offered like $500, and she was like, oh yeah, that's fine. So we went to go get more money, and then when he was gone, my aunt and me like stayed, and we were like talking to her about the pigs. And she was telling us how like the pigs are like depressed, and we asked her like, how do you solve its depression? And she said, you can't, you just have to feed it, love it. I don't know. He came back and he's like, get in the car, like we're not ready for a pig. I don't know what we were thinking. This kind of seems really sketchy. Like he was like starting to like realize everything. We all like left. We're like, oh, sorry, we're not gonna get it. So we left, and by that time it was like so late. It was like 10:30, and we had a long drive back, but my grandma's house is like an hour away from there, and that's where like my brother was, because my brother didn't come with us and he was there still. So we went back there, and the next day, like when my uncle dropped me off at my house, that night he called me. He's like, hey, remember this pig dealer? Like, we're trying to like get this pig from? I'm like, yeah. He looked her up on Craigslist and she has like 6 different pig offers, and they're all like totally different sob stories. When we were there, she was talking about, oh, like I have to get rid of this and my daughter's sick, so please buy it, and all this stuff. He looked her up like on the internet, and she came up, and her mug shots, I guess she had like a DUI, and she was known for being a scammer of like selling pigs that like turn into like these giant like pigs, and she won't take them back. Even though she told us like when we were there, like, oh yeah, if anything doesn't work out, you know, you can always bring it back and get your refund. But I don't think that's how it went. So that was fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Comment down below any more video suggestions that you guys want, and subscribe for more videos. Thanks. Bye. Goodbye.